Hi, welcome to the Weekly Presser with Dr. Alvin Parker, head football coach of the Virginia Union University Football Panthers. Coach, another big win. We stay undefeated in CIAA play by downing Lincoln 66-21 on homecoming. Tell us about the game.
It was a good home win. Again, coming off of the road, the last few weeks was good to be back home. It was good to be back home for homecoming. Great crowd, great atmosphere. Great chance to get out there and play football. And I thought those guys did well. Again, every conference win is a good win.
Had Savion Moore named Offensive Lineman of the Week. I believe that is that 4 weeks in a row that we've had the Offensive Lineman of the Week?
It's four. And we made a joke earlier. We told Agent Crespin he's the only offensive line who hadn't gotten it yet. We said don't mess this up this week. Just as a joke because we had four straight. So I'm proud to say, it's a big week for him because he's a transfer from Bowie. So to get this arm of the week that we're playing Bowie, I think is something that's good for him.
We're going to open the floor up now for questions. Just identify yourself and your affiliation, and we'll start right now.
Coach, I'm John O'Connor from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Thanks for being here. Can you recall how many starters you lost off your 2024 offensive team?
Off of the 2024 team, I believe probably about maybe like 4 to 5 that we had. But we had a lot of guys that played last year. So it was a lot of experience still returning. You look up, you see that Curtis Allen wasn't a starter last year, but he had a lot of production. Kind of finishing out the season, R.J. Rosales wasn't a starter. He has a lot of production. Same thing with Keon Davis. Wasn't a full-time starter, but he's having huge production. So those guys played a lot, but now they're in the main roles. So now they're stepping up, to where you kind of can see them, their names in the spotlight. And those guys are doing, a heck of a job just, when they get their chances. So, we lost a few guys on offense, but more of the losses came on defense, John.
Yeah, it keeps hitting me, though, that Reginald Vidic isn't there anymore. Jada Byers isn't there anymore. Those were your two home run guys. Mm-hmm. Yet you're averaging 45 points a game, probably the most that you ever had averaging since you've been there. What's the key to that? Because these backups are playing awfully well, or you're scheming up awfully well, one or the other.
I want to take the credit for it, but I can't. In the last few years, we've been in that 40-point range. That we've done pretty solid on offense. But I think it's just a testament just to the preparation that these guys have. Our offensive staff does a heck of a job in getting these guys ready. That's hats off to Coach Brown, Coach Hobbs, Coach Rowland, Coach Hand, Coach Smith, Coach Dent. Those guys on that side of the ball and getting those guys ready on a weekly basis. I can't definitely take credit for all of it. And these guys are playing, at their best right now. So anytime you get it like that, you're going to have the type of production I think we're having right now on offense.
With the great crowd you guys had on Lombardi Street over the weekend, I wonder if you feel a vibe similar to last year, better than last year. What's the support like in your view?
The support is definitely there. It's been there. A lot of the times when you feel it, you see it, in the view of just how many people come to games now. Them stands are packed. We've played 2 games since the season started at home. You look, both of those games were packed. So I think people, were anxious for us to kind of get back home because they kind of want to see it in person. So it's a high level of support there. It's high level of support on campus. You're talking about Saturday, I don't know what the numbers was in terms of the crowd and the fans at the game, but a bunch in the stadium, a bunch surrounding the stadium, just a bunch of hype, all centered around Panther football.
How's Curtis Allen doing physically? Obviously, when you carry that many times for that many yards, it takes a toll. But he's a big guy. I wonder how you feel about him.
Yeah, the last few weeks he's been carrying a load. He's been carrying a big load for us. But starting off the season, he had a few games that he was in the teens in terms of carries and stuff like that, and kind of got his yards, getting a few more tougher yards the last couple of weeks. Just in terms of that, and he wants it. Last year, he wanted more carries. We just had to divide him a little bit more between him and Jada, but he's asking for more. So anytime he's asking for more, that means he's all right. We're ready for him to carry the load. He's done a heck of a job in terms of just putting this thing on his back a lot of the times. You know, we got a lot of great guys on offense. We got a lot of great guys in that backfield, but he's putting it on his back. You know, when he gets in there, he gets the job done. And, you know, and I'm liking where he's at this season right now.
Thanks, Coach Parker.
Hey, Coach Chris, 32football.com.
Hey, Chris.
How are you?
I'm making it pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing all right. Hey, I kind of want to ask you a little bit about the game. It was certainly a tale of two halves, and I was just kind of curious as your thoughts in the first half as Lincoln was sort of keeping pace with you all for a little while, which is probably surprising to a lot of viewers.
I mean, yeah, I told people, I think last week that, you know, they were a much improved ball club, you know, just in terms of what they're doing offensively and defensively, you know, so, and that's just, you know, hats off to Coach Turner for kind of keeping those guys, you know, on a straight path, you know, like he has them. But, you know, it was a tough CIAA football game, I think. You know, our guys played pretty solid in the first half, but we gave up some stuff. And then the second half, I think, you know, we minimized a lot of those things and it kind of came back a little stronger and played a little bit more of our style of football, you know, but hats off to Lincoln. You know, like I said, you know, me and Coach Turner talked before the game and, you know, just, you know, he's going through a few things up there trying to get it all the way right like he wants to. And, you know, it's our job for them a couple of hours to try to not let him get it right, but I like the direction he's taking that program in.
You know, and then going into this week against Bowie, I mean, they're kind of two drastic teams in terms of their offensive style of play. I was kind of curious as your thoughts on what you kind of expect to see out of them on Saturday.
You know, they have you know, two quarterbacks that they feel good about playing. You know, they have a running back that they really feel good about, you know, handing the ball to. They have a couple receivers that they really feel good about throwing it to. You know, so, you know, last week up there at Bluefield, they put up quite a few points. And they've been in pretty much every game they've played, you know, so they're good ball clubs here. You know, it's hard for me to kind of get it out of my head. You know, the first couple of years I was here, 18, 19, you know, 21, you know, that was the one we could not get over. You know, we couldn't beat Bowie. You know, so when you look at it from that standpoint, you know, they're still Bowie, you know, so no matter what the record might say or anything else, you know, I think they're a good ball club, you know, and I think that's going to kind of be the case from here on out, you know, with everybody that we play. You know, we're going to get everybody's best. So, you know, we have to be at our best every week.
All right. Appreciate it. Good luck to you, Coach.
Thanks.
Are there any other?
Can I ask one more? And that is, as you head down the stretch here, do you think winning the last two CIAA titles is helpful or irrelevant to this group?
I mean, we have a lot of guys around here that can still wear two rings, you know, so I think it's something that, you know, those guys take pride in, and I think it's something that the new guys want, you know, so it definitely means a lot, you know, but you know, with the makeup of this team now, we still have quite a few new guys. You know, and new guys kind of want to, you know, put their own mark, their own identity on it. So, you know, I'm okay with that. You know, I'm definitely okay with that. But as long as the foundation stays the same, and our foundation is what it is, you know, around here. So everybody that comes in this program and that's a part of this program know what we're playing for. You know, so, you know, it doesn't become a distraction. You know, it makes it become a goal that we're going to give you the plan to reach. And those guys follow that plan and you know, and sometimes, you know, we might stagger on the plan a little bit, but most of the time those guys do what they have to do to reach that plan. So, you know, it's no different this year.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Coach Parker? All right, well, thank you, and thank you, Coach. We're going to be back here again next Tuesday at 2 o'clock, and we thank everybody for coming. Thanks again, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.